Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2. Welcome back to Cardiff in Wales. We're going to go pick up a load of smoked sprats and take them to Cambridge, I think it said. I don't know. I always forget. Between when I take the job and when I go to pick it up, I always forget what the job is. Right, so brake is off, lift axle is up, windows are down. Everything is good. Everything is good. And the sun is just about to come up. So we will be driving in daylight. Man, I was looking at look at the lighting on this building directly across from us. Is this an old part of the map? What's that all about? And I even, I'm using a headlight mod. And I even uninstalled it. That can't be right. That's no good. And I uninstalled it, and it was no better with it uninstalled. So I think that's just the way the lighting is at the moment. But we are in a beta, so they're sorting some things out. And this patch is all about shadows, I guess is the best way to say it. I think that's the biggest thing they've done is introduce the ambient occlusion. So it would be fitting that shadows might be a little screwy right now. I also just noticed, it's a xenon headlight mod. I just noticed that every vehicle has xenon headlights. Oh, all right. Fortunately, the sun will be up momentarily. We won't have to see this for very long. Hey, man, that's that mod life. You never know what you're going to get. You never know how it's going to work out. There are some good headlight mods that I use by Alex D, and I believe those only impact the headlights on the truck that you're driving as a player, and nothing else is affected. But not this one. So it goes. Like I said, lights will be off in a minute. We won't have to deal with it for very long. So what else is going on? Oh, we got the word. We got the release date. Last week we heard July of 2020 for Idaho. And just a couple days ago I saw July 16th. So that is just a very few days from now. Today is the 12th, the 11th. Today is the 11th. So about a week from today. So I will do a video for that. There goes my voice. I will do a video for that as soon as it drops. We'll drive around Idaho a little bit, take a look, see how we're doing. All right, let's get back down to neutral here. Oh, that is terrible. You know what? I'm going to turn these off. I can't stand it. We'll set the brake. We'll go in here. Smoked sprats, is that correct? Smoked sprats to Birmingham. Why did I think Cambridge? Smoked eel. It's going to Cambridge. Do we want to go to Cambridge? No, let's go a little bit more north. Yeah, smoked sprats. There we go. All right, so we will go third person. We'll take the brake off. We'll go third person and get this thing backed in here. So yeah, that is the first bit of good news. And then the second bit of good news is that we will have our first proper DLC for SnowRunner on the 15th. So one day before, and I will do a live stream for that. I don't mean to make it sound like an event of some kind, like I'm going to be live streaming that. Right? It's not like that at all. But for some reason, SnowRunner just really lent itself to live streaming. It's really the only time I've done any type of live stream since I started the channel over 2 years ago, and it just really worked well for that. I would like to do more live streaming, but I try to be pretty. Whoa. I try to be pretty specific about the videos that I make. I've never wanted to... Let's get this done before we do anything else. So we will set the brake. Engine off. Let's get loaded up. I've always wanted to do two things. And one thing is... Wait, is it getting lighter? Yeah, it is. Okay. The way the light was, it looked like it was getting darker. That's no good. All right, so we'll hop back in here. We'll center the camera. And I really want to turn my lights on. All right, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Hopefully they won't be pointed at anything and get that weird shadow. One thing is, I've always wanted to make videos that you like, that you enjoy, that work for you. That somehow do something for you. And the other thing I've always wanted to do is make videos that are, for one reason or another, relevant. I never want to make a video just because it's time to make a video. And I think what really makes me think about that, or the reason I feel strongly about it is, as I was like learning how to do this, and I learned to do this by watching other YouTubers, of course, carefully, as I think most YouTubers have. You watch other people, you see videos that you like, you see people doing things that you would like to do, and you say, all right, I'm going to figure out how they did that. I'm going to figure out what steps I need to take to recreate that video that I see that I like. I think we almost just clipped that little, what is that? Some type of a little compact 3-door. Almost took them out. And something that I noticed as I was sort of doing that, I don't even want to call it research, because I was just watching YouTube videos, you know? It's something I enjoy. But if you do want to call it research, something that I observed is there is a type of video where it's a person who's just playing a game. That's all they're doing. They're just playing a game, and they've turned on some type of recording apparatus, and that's it. They're just playing a video game. And it goes to that idea that I think all of us have on some level, that because these platforms and these various media are available to us now, if we can just get something on the platform, surely people will want to watch it. And what I've learned is, no, that is absolutely not the case. And you can see that even if you're not making videos, you can see that if you're watching videos, because there are plenty of videos that within 30 or 40 seconds of the video beginning, you realize that there's nothing happening here. It's just a person playing a video game. So I think what works for SnowRunner, why it's so good for live stream for me, and why it's been the only title that I've ever bothered live streaming, is I feel like it's just that perfect balance between enough uncertainty, right? The game is challenging enough and there's enough surprises in there that you can have some fun, and it's not all a completely foregone conclusion. But at the same time, it's not so erratic that we have no idea how things are going to go. Because the idea of even something like iRacing, I think with iRacing, at least for me, the assumption is we're going to crash out of the race. Because when I'm pushing, and I would almost certainly be pushing if I was live streaming, if I was pushing out in a race, the odds of me getting wadded up in iRacing are pretty good. And that's, it's not necessarily something that I want you to see. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to get crashed out, even if you know it's going to happen. Or something like the Formula One franchise, the F1 franchise. It's really, really hard. And I do make use of the rewind feature from time to time. I can probably count on one hand the races that I've made it through end to end, a full either 45 minutes to almost sometimes 2 hours without rewinding at least once. I have done it, and I've made it through plenty of, I've made it through plenty of Assetto Corsa Competizione and R Factor 2 and Race Room races, and there is no rewind in those. So I can do it. I have done it. But I find the F1 franchise in particular, I think because the cars go sideways so quickly, and I mean that in the metaphorical sense, not literally sideways, although that too. But everything just goes tits up on you so very quickly in Formula One, in real life and in the sim. And the car is so fragile. Brush the wall, touch another car, and you need to come in for a 12 or 15 second pit stop, and your day is essentially done. So it would be great to live stream something like the F1 franchise, but I've watched enough what I think of as like the pro F1 franchise racers, the F1 sim racers, and in their live streams, it's like it's not quite Wreckfest, but it really makes me wonder how often they use rewind in the races that they post as videos. And I'm not throwing any shade when I say that. You do you. It's a really hard game. But you know what I mean? If you watch an F1 YouTuber, an F1 sim YouTuber live stream, it's very often a lot of fun and a lot of crashing and a lot of laughing, and or the damage is turned off. I think even one of the live events they were doing for coronavirus, I want to say they had contact turned off the first lap. Like all the cars were ghosts the first lap. And this is with half the field is pro sim drivers, or at least big time sim drivers, and the other half are professional Formula One drivers, or Formula 2, Formula 3. I don't think it's not like the full F1 field in there. You know what I mean? It's a hard sim. So I don't know that I would want to do that in a live stream and risk you seeing me wad the car up. It sucks when that happens. So SnowRunner, it was just a perfect compromise. It's an exciting game. There's plenty of challenges. It's a slow-paced game. Slow-paced game for sure. But it is exciting. There are a lot of moments when you have to wonder, like, is this going to work out? Am I going to be able to get through here? What do I do next? So in that way, it really worked well for live streaming. And I missed live streaming. It was a lot of fun. I did it like almost every night for about a week and a half until we got done with all the maps on SnowRunner. And also, the timing was perfect because I was completely burnt out on SnowRunner by that time as well. I played that game, I wouldn't say nonstop, but I played the hell out of that game for like a month. From the time it dropped till the time we got done with Russia, I just played it. It's a cool game. I really do like it. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like with any title, it's like there's almost a finite amount of hours in that game, and you can play them all at once, or you can spread them out. But however many hours are in that game, that's the amount of hours you're going to get out of it. End of story. My voice is going, by the way, and it sounds like it's going, like it's really going. Sometimes it goes just for a minute, but oh shit. But it feels like it's about to go like for the rest of the weekend. It's Saturday morning for me. Well, not quite morning. It's about 1 in the afternoon. But it feels like it's about to go for good. Like I'm not going to be able to talk till Monday. That happens. So, yeah, I mean, something like, I don't know, something like The Last of Us. That's a 70-hour game, 80-hour game. Is anybody going to replay it? I don't know. I mean, maybe. I think about games sometimes, and I think every game, it doesn't matter. Every game, no matter how popular it is, no matter how good it is, no matter how old it is, it doesn't matter. Every single video game that you can look at, somewhere, somebody played that for the first time, and they were like, oh yeah, yep, that's my spirit animal right there. That's it, I'm done. And they have been playing that game every minute that they can game ever since, whether it came out a few months ago or a few years ago. I mean, I am absolutely positive in a statistical and probability kind of context. I am positive that there is somebody somewhere in the world, and all they do is play Age of Empires in their gaming time. I don't mean that's all they do. Like they just, play Age of Empires 12 hours a day. But that's all they do. Every spare minute that they have for their hobby, for gaming, for whatever, they play Age of Empires. Doesn't even matter which one, or Age of Mythology, or whatever. And I know that's the case because I'm positive there's somebody who's the same way with like chess or backgammon or whatever. So I do think that every game, no matter how good or bad it may seem to you and I, that somewhere somebody played it and was like, yep, I do not need another video game. And then it's it's like being in love. It's like dating. Some people, when they fall in love, they seriously never even look at another person the rest of their life. Other people, they're looking around all the time. And the conclusion they continue coming to is, nah, I'm good. I'm covered. I'm sticking with what I got. This is working for me. And I think it's the same way with gaming. I think there are some people that they never even bother playing another title once they find the one that works for them. Don't you do it. Don't. And there are other people that are looking around, right? That may be playing some different titles, and everything that they play, they end up saying, nope, not doing it for me. I'm going back to my spirit animal. And that's it. So I've got a few titles that I think are sort of like that for me. Truck Sim would be one, Euro Truck and American Truck. And man, if I had to pick between the two of them, I don't know what I would do. I don't, because I mean, I think just common sense would tell us that ATS is going to continue to grow until it is as big as ETS, like geographically, the size of the map, the amount of content, whatever. So you could say, well, ETS is bigger, it's got more DLC, it's got more content. Yeah, for now. But I think ATS is going to catch up. Very confident about that. America is my home. I love America. But I really like these European trucks. I really like the European roads. It just works for me. So ETS and ATS, I lump them together. I just call it Truck Sim. And I believe the next iteration of this that SCS does, as I have no inside information on this. I'm only speculating when I say I believe it's going to be called International Truck Simulator or just Truck Simulator or something. And it's going to be like train simulators. You get the train simulator and it's the physics, it's the engine, and then you buy the trucks and the maps that you want for different parts of the world. But this would be obviously up there, top of the list. I really like iRacing. I think that could be up there, top of the list. Farm Sim 17, I think, could be up there. And then from there, there's kind of a pretty big drop-off. Assetto Corsa Competizione is an unbelievable sim. This is going to sound weird when I say this, but I think you'll get it. It hasn't been out for that long. It's only been out for a couple of years, and I don't know if it's got the staying power. I don't know if it's got the legs to elevate it to like that lofty of a position. You know what I mean? I think we should wait a little while longer. And the problem with racing simulators and racing games is technology and graphics cards and the render and all of it. It's evolving so quickly that it's hard to say, well, let's give it a couple years and see how we feel about it then, because in a couple years, there could be something completely different. There could be Assetto Corsa Competizione 2, right? So as a concept, it's amazing. And it's really everything that I love about Project Cars 2, which is the realism of the render, day-night cycle, weather, right? But then you add in something that Project Cars 2 does not have, which is really good physics, really good tire modeling, and really good AI. So in a way, I am tempted to say, even though it's a fairly young game, I'm tempted to say Assetto Corsa Competizione could be a keeper. I mean, and what do you do about a franchise? What do you do about something like the F1 franchise, right? Or the MotoGP franchise? If you say, yeah, I'm going to put this on my list, right, in case I get like stranded in a desert island or thrown in a dungeon or something, for something like MotoGP 20, well, for something like the MotoGP franchise, now you have to ask yourself, is this particular island that I'm going to be trapped on, is this a dungeon that I'm going to get thrown into, does it have internet access? And can I get the next one when it comes out? And does that count for the sake of our experiment, right? Because what we're saying is, what would your favorite game be? What would your keeper be if there was a spirit animal in your library? Which one would it be? And when you think about franchise, you have to think, do we stay current? Because that changes a lot. Assetto Corsa used to be a pretty amazing game. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. I think it's the content, the amount of cars that really make that game happen. In the same way that Project Cars, that unbelievable, that garage that you have access to in Project Cars 2, makes up for the fact that the game may not have the most accurate physics. It may not have the best AI. And when I say may not, I mean it absolutely does not have the best AI. The AI is atrocious. But it is, if you're a car person, if you're someone who likes the history of racing, the cars that are in Project Cars 2 sort of make up for that. They really do. And I would be tempted in some ways to put that game on my list, because that is, 4 years old now? And I know they're making another one, but the one that they're making looks to be a console racer grid type title, not at all a race sim, and that's fine. We kind of expected that. We knew, based on the reception that Project Cars 2 got, we knew that Project Cars 3 was either going to be a full-blown sim or, you slowing down? Watching my speed here. It was either going to be a full-blown racing simulator or it was going to be a kid's arcade game. And since it's very difficult to pull off a proper race simulator, and that space is already kind of crowded, and the players in that space have a lot of loyalty and really dedicated fan bases, it seems like they would go the opposite direction, and they did. So it looks to be a fun game. Grid, what's the is it Grid 2? Grid, so the most recent Grid, the one that dropped last fall. It looks like a really fun game. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to play it because it's not my kind of game, but it looks fun. It looks well made. It's just not my type of title. So I'm not worried about, when you think about franchise, if I lock myself in, if I take Project Cars 2 to the dungeon and Project Cars 3 gets released, then I'm going to want that. Well, I think, fortunately, we won't. At least I won't. So yeah, it's really hard to make that list, but it fascinates me to reflect on that and think that, yeah, somewhere there is somebody that played, and I mean, think of a weird game. Think of an obscure title. Whatever. All right? Falling in love is, you don't really have any control over it. Doesn't matter whether it's with a person, with a car, with a football team, sports team. Doesn't matter, man. Once it clicks, once it happens, you're gone. You're just along for the ride at that point. So think of some weird title, and for sure that is the only game that person is going to need for the rest of their life. I mean, there are people that are still playing like Silent Hunter 2 or Silent Hunter 3. There's one of the Silent Hunters is regarded as the best one, and there have been several since then, but they've all been not good. But there are people that they're living that life, man. They're living that U-boat life, and that works for them. Good for them, man. Find what works for you. Don't detour me. Don't. Are we getting detoured? Son of a... Man, I'm tempted to just head down there. All right, where are we at on time? We're at 22 minutes. We'll go to 30 as we do. I imagine they're just going to send us down one exit, and we'll get flipped around and headed back there. I have dialed it back. I've dialed it way back, but we still get a detour. I swear, every trip we get a detour. It's madness. Okay, yeah, they're just going to flip us around right now. Okay, there's hardly any delay at all. No problem. And we continue. Yeah, thinking about stuff like that fascinates me. I have a lot of, they're not even really deep thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm not solving the problems of the world. They're not those kind of thoughts. This is an old part of the map. The scale is all wonky. I think this is the original map. But yeah, the scale is all broken. The ramps are too short. It's all bumpy. Looking forward to when they redo this area. I don't know when they're going to get around to it. But yeah, this is OG. Oh, shit. Needed to make another turn. That's okay. It's going to route us right down here. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's just pixels. Who cares? How far do we have to go? I added quite a bit of time to the trip. That's what you get for not paying attention. Hey, you know what? We own this trucking company. We'll take all the time we need. I'll just drive down here a ways, and then we'll pull over at 30 minutes, and I'll take it the last 10 kilometers off camera. What was I talking about? What was I complaining about? I wasn't complaining about anything. I was being upbeat for once. Yeah, man. That's the great thing about life, is whatever works for you, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you do you, man. You knock yourself out. You want to play Cuphead for the rest of your life? Have at it. Cuphead, I don't even think Cuphead is a good example for this little thing that we're thinking about. Because Cuphead, there's enough variety to it, and you can do speed runs. What would be something even worse? I don't know. I'm trying to think of not the worst game ever, right? Because that's, I don't know, that's sort of like cheating, right? That's obviously, it would be ironic. It would be funny if that was somebody's favorite game. It can't be a bad game necessarily, but maybe like a weird game or something that you and I played and it's like, yeah, okay, that was half an hour of fun, moving on. And for somebody else, it's like, oh no, no, man. It's a fascinating thing to think about carefully. Yeah, I don't have a lot of deep thoughts like philosophical stuff. I just have like a lot of shower thoughts. I have a lot of high ideas, even though I don't get high. I have high ideas, and that's the sort of stuff I think about. My doctor years ago, my doctor said, you know, I can give you some medication to help you with that. And I was like, help me with what? And she said, well, you know, thinking about stuff. I was like, why would I not want to think about stuff? And she said, it's a form of anxiety. And I was like, no, man, I'm thinking. I'm just thinking. Why would you not want to think? Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand anything. I really don't. When I was a kid, I understood everything. When I was like 15, 16, 17, oh, I was full of wisdom. I had all the answers. Now, I don't know nothing. Why do you think I'm playing this video game? All right, where are we at on time? 27 minutes. All right, let's go. We're going to make a turn down here. Let's see if there's anything. Let's see if there's anything as far as facilities where we can get pulled over. And I'll park it right there. I'll finish taking us into Birmingham off camera. I'm seeing a little spur down here, but I'm not seeing any type of place to pull over. Where are we at? 27 minutes. All right. It's getting close. We'll get let's do this. We'll get out on the highway. Maybe. Oh, maybe there'll be a place to turn out there. All right. Yeah, that's what happens when you miss a turn. But you know what? We're making money. Carefully. We're making money. I think we've got a small loan. Yeah, I took out a small loan to buy that Mercedes trailer, the Streamliner. And I don't think we paid that all the way back yet, but it was only like $100 grand, and we're paying it back like $12,000 a day or something, $7,000 a day. Oh, geez. All right. I'm hustling, man. I'm hustling. In fact, we could go pay it off right now. We've got enough in the bank right now. I think we could just pay it off. But we don't have much of a loan. We're making money. All our drivers are leveling up. Everything is going well, sir. Everything is going well. So if we run a little bit late on this delivery, not the end of the world. Oh, 28 minutes. Let's see if we get up here, if we get a fuel stop. I bet we do. I bet we do. All right. All right, right through here. I feel like the trucks are heavier now. We're running, it's drivetrain revision by Galliman. And I think that changes a lot, but I don't think it changes mass and how the trucks actually feel. I think it just changes like gear ratios and horsepower, torque. But the trucks do seem heavier lately, past couple of updates. And I swear, man, the AI seems different. The past couple patches, the AI it's out to get me. All right, and here's our fuel stop. No, 29 minutes. What? All right, it's all going to work out. All right, so we're going to pull in here. Where is the sun? I need to know this. It's over there. So we want to stay to the right. Get pulled over to the right somewhere. And we will hop out, screenshot, and we're done. All right, if we go, can we go all the way through, right through there? This is probably a bad idea. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have just stayed on the road because we don't need to sleep and we don't need fuel. Oh, carefully. Carefully. Right through here. Oh, right. There's a spot right there. So if we pull right up here, right like that, 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. So we get down to neutral. We set the brake. I'm going to leave the engine running because I'm going to keep driving as soon as I say goodbye. There we go. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. We'll see you next time. Take care now.